Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Distance Dilemma podcast. My name is Sean, and I'm in Dublin, Ireland. This is Imran, and he is in Thun, Switzerland, and this is our long distance friendship podcast. This is episode number 58, and we're going to kick things off like we do every week. We're our out of context weekly scenarios. This is the part of the show where me and Imran give each other sections of our week out of context, and the other person has to try and guess what's going on through a series of yes or no questions. So, Imran, what is your out of context weekly scenario?
I finally finished a trilogy.
Was this a film trilogy?
Yes.
Lord of the Rings?
No.
Is this a recent trilogy?
Define reason?
Last 10 years?
Let me check.
Is this like what did you is this
Yeah.
like ready
Within the
okay
last 10 years, yeah.
within the last 10 years? Is this sci-fi?
No.
Okay, what trilogies have come out in the last year? Was that anything got to do with like the MCU, Marvel, DC?
No.
I was just thinking like it could have been like you might not have seen like the third installment of one particular franchise. Did you have you recently watched all three films, or did you only watch the third one recently and you'd seen the other two before?
I've recently watched all three movies.
All three films you've watched recently. Okay.
Yeah.
And had you seen the first two before?
Yeah.
So it was just the third one you hadn't seen.
Correct.
Venom.
No.
Oh wait, no, you said it was Marvel. That was just the first trilogy that came to my head.
Yeah, I know.
The last 10 years. Have all the films come out in the last 10 years?
Let me check again. No.
No. So we're talking like started. Was it Avatar?
No.
Are these films available on streaming services?
Yeah.
Netflix?
No.
Amazon?
No.
Disney?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's under the. Was it. So you said it's not Marvel, it's not DC, it's on Disney. Was this something that was originally a property of 20th Century Fox?
Oh, whoa, you're asking my questions now.
Like, is it like a Disney thing, like, or is it like?
It's not 20th. It's not. No. No. To answer your question, no.
Was it Frozen?
No. Never seen Frozen.
No, never mind. It wasn't a musical, I'm assuming.
No.
There's no third Ratatouille film.
There's not even a second one.
No, that's true. Toy Story?
No.
Was it animated?
Yes.
Okay, right, we're getting there. We're getting there. It's an animated trilogy in the third film. Cars!
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
there we go, boys. There we go.
My clue for you was gonna be like every man just loves this movie because like if you think about it, it is a real. I don't know how to explain it. It is just like a real male movie. I don't like way certain like movies can be like. I don't want to say it's like close to like being genrefied, but I was saying like Cars. Like every man loves Cars. I don't know how to explain that. It's just a good movie. Like it's not amazing. Like I don't watch Cars and be like, whoa, that was the best movie ever. But when I watch Cars, I'm like, you know what? It's a good solid movie. Makes you laugh. But I'd never watched the third one, and we were on the flight on the way over, and I was like panicking because I had nothing downloaded for the plane. I was like flicking through Disney platform because that was the one I had on my phone. So I was just going back and forth, and then eventually I seen it was like, oh, Cars 3, and I was like, oh, I better download that. And you don't have to say, the whole flight flew by. Like, normally I would sleep in the flight, but I was actually bet into the movie from start to finish. And it was just like a good, fun movie. And you know what I really think I've started to enjoy? I like watching animation when I'm on a flight. Like, last time I watched Sonic the Hedgehog because you recommended me to watch. And I'd never watched any of them. And I'd watched the first two of them on the flight. And then now Cars. So I think this is like a new... Like, if any animation movies I haven't watched, I think it's like a nice, easy watch on the plane.
Yeah, if flights definitely give animation vibes. Like I usually one of my like safe bets for like a flight is like Spider-Verse or Incredibles or like they just
Standard.
suit that type of environment. Like just
was-
safe.
And it was funny because we got an upgraded plane on the way back, so we had like one of the jumbo planes. So we all had like
Nice.
screens for all of it. It was Nicola's first time, and they gave us like free food out and stuff, which was nice. But I was like flicking through like because they've got a lot of blockbusters like movies, so I was just kind of flicking through, and I seen that the F1 movie was out, and I was like, well, I watched the Cars movie on the way up. So it's like I might as well watch one on the way back, something to do with Cars. But
Mm.
I finished the movie and I was like, Cars is just so much better. Like it just was. And it's like the amount of money I know. I want to see how much money they spent on making the F1 movie.
I, Making it, it's you're talking about 150 million, I'd say.
135 million.
Not bad, not bad.
Damn. But yeah,
Uh,
so like I was just way more into the animation. So there you go. What about you? What was your out of context weekly scenario?
okay, I just want to start by saying I apologize about how boring mine is. I've had nothing
Last
exciting
week's your
happen.
one was pretty funny though. The
Yeah,
first one.
yeah. I This one isn't half as like amusing or interesting. It's very. I was really struggling to come up with one this week just because I've not been doing an awful lot. We've not been gigging. I've just been at home working away, like doing the mundane things, and I can't use like something like stupidly mundane, like going doing the food shop again. So my out of context weekly scenario is an unexpected blue balls.
What? This is like the third week in a row. It's like trying not to go down the sexual route. Um, an unexpected blue balls.
Yeah.
Uh, because you're on a diet, was it anything to do like you seen like an item of food and you were like, my God, I'd love to eat that right now.
That's not what happened in this specific instance, but I do have that at least probably once or twice a week.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's nothing to do with food.
Nothing to do with food. No.
Okay, does it have anything to do with Simone?
No.
Uh, is it something that you were like, oh, I'd love to own that or buy that?
Sort of.
Sort of. Okay. Uh, does it have anything to do with like guitars?
No.
No, because that's like one thing you kind of collect. Um, okay, no food, no car. Okay, no, no. Does it have to do with an object per se? Like, is it an
Yes.
item? It's an item. Okay. And it has nothing to do with the music sense.
No.
No, nothing to do with food.
No.
Okay, so not music, not food. Anything to do with football,
No.
TV,
No.
furniture.
Yes.
Okay, so is it something that you could get for the house?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Has it anything to do with your hallway?
No.
Because you
You
were
were
looking to
thinking that
put some posters up in the wall. You
you
were
were thinking
talking to me
about the
about it last
posters,
week.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
actually
yeah.
did. I don't know if you noticed. I put my Foo Fighters one up
I
here.
did
That
notice that.
that was on the stairs, but basically I've put that up because I ordered a Daredevil poster for there. But I
Okay.
just wanted to like put the nail in and like have it kind of marked. And plus, because I had that catfish poster there for ages, and when I took it down, it scuffed a lot of the wall, and it just looked horrible. Like I've
Right.
been noticing when I've been making my own videos and when we've been doing the podcast, the wall looks horrible. So I just put that up like just to cover up that while I wait for my Daredevil poster to come.
Yeah. Hiding it from our YouTube viewers. I love that.
Yes.
Okay, so, right. Something for the house that you were like, oh, I'd love to have that in the house. Um, was this item or product like a significant amount of money? Like
No.
very expensive? No, it wasn't. Okay. Was it for the kitchen?
No.
No, it's not your kitchen utensil. Not the hallway. Is it a bed?
No.
Not a bed. Is it for like a bedroom? The
No.
product would be used in a bedroom. Not in the kitchen, not in the bedroom, not in the hallway. Bathroom?
No.
No. You don't have an attic, I'm pretty sure.
We do. Well, we do. We just haven't been
You
into
don't
it
use it. Yeah, you
since
don't use it. Yeah.
we haven't lost enough weight to fit into the small gap that
Yeah,
fucking gets us up
yeah.
there.
Okay. Um, okay, what room am I missing here? Your office. Does it have
Yes.
anything to do with your office? So you something for your office. Some kind of furniture for your office.
Yeah.
Is it like an elevated table? You know the buttons you press and the table
No.
goes up to
No.
you? No.
But you're
I'm in the right area.
getting
I'm in the
you're
right
getting in the
area.
right area. Yeah.
Okay. Is it a new chair?
No.
No. Does it anything to do with like the surface level of like what's on your table in front of you right now?
Yes.
Okay, okay, I'm getting closer. Okay, is it a technology? Is it something anything to do with technology?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so is it an Apple product?
No.
No, not an Apple product specifically. So it's not a laptop, not a phone.
No.
No. Okay, not a phone. Is it a laptop? Not like a monitor or anything like that.
No.
Why is it like a no? Why is it no?
Because you're getting
Uh,
warmer.
yeah. Okay. So, what else could you need for the screen? Is it a new camera?
No.
No. Okay, it's not a camera, not a monitor, not a phone, but it isn't. It is a technology product. It's not like,
Yeah.
a stand or anything like that.
No.
Bit of a wild one here, but is it like a water purifier? Because I've been seeing them everywhere lately.
No.
Have you been seeing them? They look ridiculous. Um, okay, I need a clue. I'm asking for a clue because I feel like I'm getting close.
I
Or if you can't give me a clue, then
I don't know how to give you a clue without blatantly giving it away. Let's just say I am. It's something I will use daily when I'm using my desk setup with my laptop and my monitor and the other things that you mentioned. It's something I will use absolutely every single time I even want to turn everything on.
oh, is it one of those when everything's like connected to the mains? It's like I don't know what the name of it is, but it's a product that you're able to like turn all the lights and everything on.
No.
No, I'm barking throwing a tree here.
Yeah.
Okay, see, I haven't got one in the
It's
past few
also in
weeks. I
front
really
of
want
me
to get it.
right now. You can't
That's
see
a
it,
oh, okay. I
but
was
it's
gonna say it's a
right.
microphone.
No, but it's in front, and I've used it.
Oh, is it a light? Is it
No,
like a not like one of them ring lights? No,
no.
not a ring light, not a microphone, not a laptop, not a monitor, not. Oh man,
You're
I
so
actually
close.
I
You're
know.
so close. Like you've
What am I
literally
mid? Is it like a light, like an LED light or
no.
nothing like that? I already said that. I don't know. What would you use every day? What is it? It's not one of those like cleaning product, like nothing to do with cleaning.
No,
Like you put your phone in and it
no,
cleans your phone, or like
no. Just
no like headphones or anything like that. Like no, not back. Oh, it could be potentially headphones,
no.
like really good headphones.
It's not headphones, but again, you're on the right trail of like accessories.
Okay, so is it like a new pair of AirPods or like
No.
what do you
What else would
use?
I use with a computer? So
A mouse, a new mouse,
no,
a new mouse, a
no. But
keyboard,
what?
a keyboard, a
Yes, a
keyboard.
keyboard.
Wow,
So I
wow. Okay.
got okay. I'm just gonna because we've already spent a long
Wow, wow,
time with
wee,
this.
wow.
I
Wow,
got
wee, wow.
blue balls by a brand new keyboard.
Okay,
Um,
okay. What's so like
so
significant about his keyboard?
well, I'll show you because I bought it.
Whoa,
See, it's
nice.
for anybody that is listening and is not watching on YouTube. It's like a really kind of fancy. It's one of those ones that has like really nice clicky sounds. So if I go in like this, I'm just gonna go quiet for a second and hope that it picks up this. But
Makes you
it's
feel
one
like
of
you're at
those.
the office, you know?
Yeah, I bought, because right, Simone gave me her monitor. I think I said this to you.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
And she gave me, because Simone went back into the office full time and she's not working from home anymore. And she'd bought a monitor to work from home and she gave it to me. It's a class monitor. I love it. It's one of those big curved ones. And she gave me her keyboard, but her keyboard, me and Simone are very different in size. I'm like, I've got much bigger hands, especially. So I couldn't use Simone's keyboard for that long. It was like just really annoying. And I
Yeah.
was looking at keyboards and like, they were all like hundreds of quid, like, like for good ones, like, because I didn't want to just buy a crap one. And I was spending days researching like what one I want to go for. And eventually I said, you know what, I'm going to buy one on Temu, see how it goes. And if I use it enough that I break it and like I felt it warranted paying a good price for it, I'll do that.
Yeah.
So, as you know yourself, when you order something off Temu, you could get it in 4 days, you could get it in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
There's no
Correct.
fucking thing. And it was like last Friday, and I was told that I wasn't going to get it till Monday. And I was out at the gym, and the Ring doorbell goes off, and I see the postman with a package that looks like a keyboard. I was like,
Right.
happy days. Delighted with that. Said to the postman, Steve, I said, Steve, not home at the moment. Just leave leave it in the bin, the usual spot. See you later. Grand. No bother. And I come home and it was a package for Simone, and it wasn't my keyboard. My keyboard didn't arrive until Monday. But that was the blue balls of it.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So you were expecting a product that didn't come the day you were expecting to come.
Well, the thing is, it did come the day it was supposed to come. But Simone, I didn't know Simone was also due a package that day. So when he came, and it was like some, I don't even know. But I don't even know. I think it was I don't even know. I don't know what it was. It was like it just the box was shaped like a big rectangle, like a keyboard. So I saw that on the Ring doorbell. I was like, oh, great, happy days, like, you know. So yeah, like I said, I know that was really boring, but it was it was the only thing I could come up with.
I'm just happy I've broken my streak because I've been terrible the last 3 weeks. I haven't been able to numb it down at all. I'm trying to go a bit more black and white now, the way I approach things. You know, actually, one thing as well I have to say about us doing the podcast. We've never had someone ring the bell. Like that have been like an unexpected someone like ringing the bell at your house. Like not one time has it happened during the night. Like no, but there has been times when we've recorded where we've had to pause the episode because like we know the postman's coming and we need to collect the parcel. I think that's happened like twice. One time you and one time me, I think. But I can't remember a time where like we've had like an unexpected guest at the house, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Surprising. People love to knock on my door and ask questions about our next door neighbour because
Really?
Because Simone's dad is our neighbour and he's the one that owns the horses, so they'll come up and like go, "Oh, is Mick in?" I'm like, "I don't know. Did you knock on the door?" Like I'm not Mick, like, you know.
Mick's living upstairs.
Yeah, and like we get kids. It's like because of like the vibe of the road. Like people just walk into our back garden all the time because some people like sometimes Mick is doing stuff for people's like horses, or he's like, you know, he's a pillar of the road. Like everybody on this road knows Mick, but we don't know everybody. You know, so a lot of the time people just like walk back, and like especially like random kids will just walk in and walk up to the horses and stuff. And I'll be like letting Z out for a slash and be like, "Get out of my garden now." Like I am not comfortable with this at all.
You know, it's like such a thing that you very rarely see anymore growing up in Ireland. Do you ever get like kids used to rock up and they'd like knock at your house and be like, "Can I cut your grass?" for like 10 quid?
Yeah.
Or even stuff like they'd knock up for Halloween. Now that doesn't surprise me really.
Entrepreneur from the fucking start. You know?
That's it. Or like lads knocking on your door looking for like scrap or any metal in the back that you can use for the fire the fire during Halloween. Like you very rarely see that anymore.
But it's because kids don't go outside anymore. You know, that's why like all the kids are inside for the most part.
This is what happens now with two lads and they start a podcast because we're not cutting grass anymore.
Yeah, well, you probably couldn't do that. You'd probably fucking pass out with your hay fever doing that sort of job.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if anyone else listening to this podcast, but I have one of the worst people that like suffer with hay fever. And like I thought when I'd leave Ireland, it would like get better. You know what I mean? Like I thought it was just like, oh, because I'm living in Ireland, there's so much pollen. When I come here and there's a pollen tree like right outside our apartment, like if any, it's following me no matter where I go. It's a tough time for the hay fevers.
Breaking news: bees exist outside of Ireland.
I know, crazy. It can only get worse.
Anyway, moving on to the topic for the week. Sorry, I just cut you off there. Really, I thought you were gonna stop talking.
Sorry, I'm still thinking about my hay fever progression that's gonna come. But anyway, we'll go.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, our topic for this week is things that we secretly judge people for, or maybe not so secretly as well. But yeah, I've got a bunch of things on my screen here, and I'm sure things will pop up of things that we judge people for. Is there anything you in particular want to kick off with this, Imran? No?
When you said this in the chat earlier on, I was trying to think very quickly. I was like, there's obviously some common answers that will come up that like me and you will probably like, you know, relate to on some level. But one for me, and I don't know why it started like really ticking me off over the past recent years, is I hate littering. Like I literally will have a packet of crisps and I will stuff that in my pocket if I'm walking around and I can't find a bin. Like I just hate it. I don't know if it's just because I moved to Switzerland and everything is so clean here. But like even when I lived in Ireland, I don't think I ever really littered. I've never grown up like never been one of the people like because I've always been like, you know, I'm gonna throw this on the ground. I'm thinking like, what happens if a dog starts chewing on it, or not even that deep. Like I just hate the idea of like throwing something on the ground because I think it's gonna like make a nuisance for anyone else. Like you know, a lot of times people's jobs like they have to pick up litter or like near Blanchetown shopping centre or anything like that. You're just giving them more work to do. So yeah, for me, like one thing I particularly hate is I hate litter.
Yeah,
and you can ask a lot of people. Like you probably very rarely ever see me litter. Like Unless, I don't know, like randomly, something flies out of the car, I'm not going to stop the car and run after it. Like,
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. It's something that wrecks my head as well. I think there is one instance where I will litter, and I will openly admit this. Right, there's only one instance where I will do it, and is that it's if I'm driving and I've got a piece of chewing gum in my mouth and I know I'm not stopping for like 20 minutes. I will flick it out the window. And I know it's the asshole thing to do. It's like
he's
it's
an
the
honest
only.
man.
I'm an honest man. I totally 100%. I know I'm a fucking, and I feel like a dickhead for doing it. Like but I don't. I'm not somebody who has chewing gum often. I just like I did it this week. I was on the motorway,
Oh,
and
so it's on your mind, yeah.
yeah, it just I was like shit. Like I have done that before, so I'd be at the end of the day, everyone's a hypocrite at something like. So yeah,
True,
everyone's
true.
you're a dickhead if you litter. Although I did litter, so I'm a dickhead.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, exactly.
That is the one instance where I will litter just because once the chewing gum goes stale in your mouth and you're chewing on it for like 20 plus minutes, like it's
There's
just
nothing
not
worse.
fun. So
No.
I will flick a chewing gum out the window, in all honesty. But in terms of like on the street or anything like that, yeah, no, totally, like absolutely fucking not. Like even like in the car, it's like just like people who throw stuff out the window. I see that all the time. Like, and I'm not talking about chewing gum here. I'm talking about like packets of shit and fucking smoke buds and stuff. Smoke buds are probably in the same category as chewing gum. To be fair, they will
Yeah, true.
decompose in the
True.
environment, so maybe that's not as bad. But yeah, people throwing shit out their car windows, no bueno.
Just don't be scummy. You got any other ones?
Okay, so I think the first thing that pops into my head for this, and I think a lot of people's head, is will people watching TikToks or on the phone in public with like their speaker or their volume on blaring on loud. Like if you do that, I'm judging you, and I just think you're an inconsiderate asshole. That's it. Like
We,
fair enough.
we've spoken about this so many times on the
It
podcast. Like
fucking
easily
wrecks
four
my
or
head.
five
It
times. Yeah, yeah.
fucking wrecks my head when people do it though. Like it's just so inconsiderate and rude, and it just shows that you don't have any consideration for other people. Like fair enough. You forgot your AirPods are dead. You forgot your AirPods, and you want to watch TikToks on the bus. I get it. Keep the volume down.
Yeah, I'm going to Japan later this year, in November, I think. And I was like, kind of like just looking at videos online and like places to go and stuff. And like a common video that keeps coming up to me is like that it's actually illegal. Like it's illegal to play like any kind of type of music or your phone out or answer any phone calls on like public transport. And I was just thinking, oh, I'd love to bring that in Ireland. I just think it's a good, like I get it. Like it's like, but like, what's the like? Can you not just answer the phone and say, "Look, I'll ring you back in a second," or if you're gonna answer the phone, like just put it on like low volume, talk low, like inside voice, please. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Like, and then you have that as well, like where people are on the phone and they're fucking screaming as
Yeah.
well. It's like, man, like shit. Like, if someone rings me, I think I've said this in the podcast before. If someone calls me and I'm on the bus, I will answer the phone. It's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like find out why they're calling you, because usually nowadays when people call you, it tends to be some sort of urgent thing. Whereas if someone's ringing me and being like, "Hey, Sean, how are you? Just checking in," I appreciate that so much, but we're not having a DMC while I'm on the bus. I'll say, "Hey, I'm just out at the moment. I'll give you a call when I get off the bus or when I get home or whenever is like more suitable," instead of like jumping into it there, especially if you're gonna like scream and be like, "Oh, Deco, he's an awful dickhead. He was fucking cheating on me with this moth from Ballymun." Like, I don't actually want. I
Oh
don't
my God,
want to.
I don't want to hear about it.
I don't want to hear about it, man. I don't.
That's
Um,
so spot on. That was like years of just being around it.
yeah, it's
I've so many. Like I'll do one that like has been big for me ever since I got burrito is like how people treat animals. Like if you treat an animal like really bad, it really pisses me off. Like I'd even see like people walking their dogs and they'd be gripping the dog by like its neck and like pulling it and yanking it. Like that wrecks my head because it's never a bad dog, it's a bad owner. And that is so 100% true. Like, and it's like people when they're like, even as well, like their dog would shit everywhere and they won't pick it up. Or like stuff like they'll kick the dog if it's not moving. Like, just, like that stuff really irritates me. Not just with dogs, but like even people like they'll spit at cats or trying to like kick animals. It's like I don't get that at all. It just really, really ticks me off. Like,
it's like we were saying with the rats and the mice like a few weeks ago. It's like, man, like just let them be as long as they're not doing
yeah,
anything. Like once they come into your house, different story. You need to get rid of them.
yeah,
But like,
yeah.
just let creatures be. Just let them do their thing. I understand like when you're training puppies and training dogs and stuff, sometimes you need to put them in their place. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
it used to kill me when I was younger, and like Alfie would misbehave, and like I used to like just give him a little like tap, and like I'd be crying before and afterwards, like I don't want to do this, blah, blah, but like I'd just like give him a little tap on his nose, or I'd
Yeah.
say to be like, no, don't do that, like that's bold, like and I don't. I've never abused animals in my life. I just want to put that. I wasn't
Sean
like
is
I wasn't
battering his
clattering the dog.
dogs.
Like no, but you give him a
Sean
little.
is whipping his dog.
You give him a little tap and be like, no, bold. Like no, you just to, I used to break my heart. Like I don't know how
I know.
people. Because my auntie as well took in a rescue a few years ago, and like some of the shit that dog had been through. Like there was one time where my cousin was playing hurling, and it was like the first time she was going to hurling training since they got the dog, and she literally just picked up her hurl to walk out the door, and the dog fucking shat itself, ran outside and like sat in the corner and wouldn't come out for like 2 hours, just after they gotten it, because obviously he'd been whacked by a hurl a couple of times, and when she
Yeah,
just took it out with the press to go to training, like the dog was traumatized, like.
yeah. I can't talk about this. I've got PTSD with Bruno. I don't want to talk
Yeah,
about this.
horrible.
Moving on. Have you got any other ones?
I have right. So people who judge other people's food orders, like like especially when it comes to like stuff online where they're like analyzing every little thing. It's like, man, if people like their shit, just let them fucking be. Like, how does my food order impact your life? Unless you're allergic to peanuts and I get something with peanuts on it, fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. But if I decide to get some fucking, if I want to get a cheeseburger and I want to put ketchup and mustard on it, and you don't like mustard, and you're fucking making a big fucking faff about it online, like, what does that matter? None of my friends do this, like, but I've just seen people do this online. They go, oh, this is that. It's like, man, let people just do things the way they want to do them. It's just that sense of like useless fucking arguments and useless crap that people talk about for no reason,
I have one that's kind of a bit. Yeah, I won't. I would say I feel bad that I judge people for this, but it just like it irritates me because sometimes I can be so OCD on my phone. It's like someone will like show me something on their phone, and then they'll click onto their like home screen, and they'll have like 11,000 emails that they've never looked at, and they like never deleted them.
Yes.
There was a lad in work recently who showed me that, and it was like 15,000 unread emails, and my heart was like, I was like, bro, can I like delete every single one of them off your phone because I'm having like heart palpitations looking at them.
Yeah,
I have,
sure.
man. Even now, I go through every single email, even like emails that come in that are junk. I I'll unsubscribe from them. I'll delete them if they're like give me no purpose, and I put them in the bin. Like I started doing that like 2 years ago because it started freaking me out. And like I can't let my phone go on for days without when it's needing an update. Because like when a notification comes up on your home but like your home screen on your phone, I have to update it within like the first day because my brain is just like, oh, get rid of it. So that would say like something like it's a petty answer, but it's something like I judge people for because I see it because it irritates me.
That's what the topic's all about, and I 100% agree with you. Like I don't know how people can sit there with like 500 emails in their inbox and like having that unchecked. Like even if I get like a message from like, let's say it's the dentist, reminder of your appointment, blah, blah. I can read that message on my lock screen. I don't need to go in and reply. I'd be like, hey, thanks, bestie, for the dentist reminder. But I have to go into it and make sure it's not showing up as like one on my messages, because it'll make me think that, I've got a message from a friend that I'm not replying to or something like that. It's a thing of like being unorganized for me that I need to like have every box checked, and also the people pleaser in me being like I don't want to be leaving people unread or delivered or anything like that.
Yeah. Have you got any like other like kind of, I don't want to say weird ones, but like ones that aren't like the norm? I've like I hear in front of me like I've so many I could run through that are like norm that like 90% of us probably agree with. But is there any ones like that where are a bit like niche towards yourself?
I don't know. All right, maybe this people who. If you make a social media account for your dog and speak about the dog as if it's in the first person, you've got
issues.
I know I have one or two friends that have done this, right? And I these are people that I love and I respect them as people, but like that sort of behavior is just like weird. Like that's just post your dog and say, look, my dog's fucking cute. Or like, appreciate this photo of my dog. Like I don't understand people making accounts. Now, come here, I know like there's like some accounts that like blow up.
Yeah. Do you know what though? You actually scream like you would own a dog account though. Like, I don't know, your personality screams like you'd own an account for like Xena, but like I feel like you would just like post photos. Like, I don't think you'd do first person video talking about like
Yeah,
Doctor
I
Who.
think it's more the first person and the, if
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
doing
yeah.
a voiceover and they're like, today me and my owner went to the dog park and like started doing that type of shit. That specifically, like, I understand like there's like a monetization space there because I see TikTok accounts of dogs and they're just posting photos and videos of the dogs and like that's being done with music. That's not as bad, right? But I think specifically like an Instagram account of like a fucking crusty old 15-year-old Jack Russell, you know, nobody wants to see it. If it's a fucking 3-year-old prime Bernese Mountain Dog, sign me up. That's fine, like,
Yeah.
but like nobody wants to see a crusty little Jack Russell, you know. So yeah, that was one just like popped in my head. That like when people do that, I'm like, really?
You know what I actually can't stand, and it just screams 40-year-old Linda. Her name is Linda, and all of her mates that she grew up are from Centra and Eurospar. It's like having a live, laugh, love, like cheap ass like painting in the middle of your wall, and then them coming over to the house and being like, "Jeez, I love what you did with the place. The live, laugh, love is great." I hate that. People saying that you live, laugh, love decor is good. Get that out of your life now. Live, laugh, love is the worst quote of all time. I'm putting it up there. It is the most overhyped quote and overhyped decor for a house. I absolutely despise it, and it's in like every 40-year-old woman's house in like any kind of estate in Dublin. And it wrecks my head. I say if you go to each estate in Dublin, there's at least one household that has live, laugh, love in the house.
Yeah, for
Seems
sure.
like slightly agreeing, but mid yawn.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, it probably wasn't on my face there, but yeah, yeah, I agree. It's giving like that type of thing gives like 40, 50-year-old Facebook mom who's posting minions on their feed, like like minions memes that are like just like the earliest depiction of a meme,
It's like having a Sunday roast and putting ketchup on the side of it and saying, "Oh, that's a nice meal." You know what I mean? Like, or like someone saying, "Oh, this is a banging meal," and it's like chicken and chips, and you just put ketchup on the side. Like, I just don't understand why people put ketchup on everything. Like, try different sauces, please.
Yeah, I
Please.
love look, and I say
I like ketchup.
I like ketchup, right? To
So
be
do I.
fair, before my frontal lobe developed and my balls dropped, I would have been one of those people before I hit puberty. But then I discovered this wonderful thing called mayonnaise,
Wow.
another wonderful thing called mustard, another beautiful
Wow.
thing called honey.
Barbecue sauce.
I've never been a big barbecue sauce type of guy.
True, true, true.
But like still expand your palate. I see what itch barbecue sauce scratches for people. It just doesn't scratch an itch for me. That's all I'll say
Okay.
on that matter.
Have you got any more itches you want to get off your chest?
Yeah, right. One thing I will judge people over is how much how like how they talk about other people's news and business. And I specifically mean like I don't like to really talk about anybody's business that isn't my own. I don't like airing other people's dirty laundry. Whereas like I've just sometimes you come across people that like they know everything about everyone and they like they'd be like, oh,
They're not the goss.
did you hear
They
about
know the
Margaret?
goss.
Did you hear about Margaret down the road? She's after getting sick or someone's in the hospital. Blah blah. Blah. It's like that. I don't know. I can be a little bit judgy and be like, that's not your news to be talking about. Like
I feel it's like how you phrase it. If it was like, "Oh Jesus, did you hear about Linda down the road?" and really feeling for her, maybe if you get a chance, throw her a text. Like if it's like a common denominator relationship, and like you're trying to give someone news and being like, "Look, this is awful news about this," in case you wanted her to reach out. I think that's fine. But if you're doing it from like a gossip perspective, which like a lot,
yeah, I'm
of
talking about the gossip perspective
yeah,
specifically.
yeah. I get that though. That like sometimes that can really irritate me as well.
Like, oh, I noticed. I noticed they changed laundry detergents when I saw it. Like shit like that, or like when they were bringing their shopping in, they've moved different shop. It's like nothing news, like just kind of like filler conversation filler that doesn't actually mean anything or go anywhere. Like that type of stuff. I'm very judgy of people that like gossip like that. Like I try and keep things to like communally known things, like like obviously like if you're in a group of people that like know of things in other people's lives, that's on the table, that's fair game, like but like don't be bringing up stuff that like could be sensitive, and like I just think that from my perspective, like if there was something in my life that I, would not want people talk. Not that I don't want people talking about it, but like stuff that I would rather be in the room to hear people talk about certain elements of my life, because like things can just get misrepresented and miscued, and the way one person explains something can be different to how I explain something. So I do that all the time. My family kind of like, I think it wrecks my family's head where I'm like, look, I'm not saying anything on these things just because I might explain it the wrong way, and then your impression of this is the way I explained it, which could be better or worse than what the situation actually is. Like, I do that all the time. Like, I'm like, look, I'm not getting involved.
I feel like I'm awful for like, a topic like that, and like I'll just say something completely off topic that I didn't mean. I'm really bad at like describing something in a situation that can like affect some, like I feel like I'm really bad at like if I'm like trying to explain a situation about, I don't know, like something happened at work. I'm really bad at explaining that to like Nicola, and like she would be like take it a completely different way than like trying to get involved in the topic, where I probably should be like more like you, where you're just saying like I'm not getting involved. I feel like if I should be get better at that. Another one I had here is, and like it actually, oh, I could actually rip someone's head off for this, is like people walking like they've like no place to be, like walking 1 mile an hour on the path, go to work. Like people, every time I'm walking, I'm doing something, like I'm either walking to work or I'm getting the bus or like I'm going to the shop. Like everything I do is like fast, unless I'm like meeting up with a friend and we're going, like say me and you are bringing Zena on a walk and like we're walking around the park and we're trying to catch up. Maybe then I'll like slow walk. But if I'm on like a main path, like I'm speeding, like I'm going, I'm trying to walk past you, like I'm trying to get to where I'm going. But like, these people have like no rush in their lives. They kind of like just kind of gently walk, or like they'll stop in the middle of the path to talk to their friend, and then like not move as they see it coming. Like that stuff really takes me off.
Yeah, slow walkers, 100%.
Oh,
even like I think we've touched on it before as well. But like people who just don't know how to walk properly in supermarkets and block off aisles and block off like sections to shit.
That's where you feel like someone's testing you, like really.
This is like the supermarket equivalent to the like speakerphone music blaring on the bus situation, because it's just the inconsideration for other people. Like I think when you're in spaces like that, you need to be very aware of other people, and you're in a communal space. Like whereas in your house it can be different, or in your space, or like in your car, like you can be in your own kind of like personal world in that sense, like whereas when you're in places like that, you need to consider other people, like and how your actions, or like even just little things like where you leave your trolley, like how that affects other people. Are you blocking off other people? Are you making it more awkward for people to reach certain items or whatever like that? So yeah, that type of shit wrecks my head.
Another one I had was and this is kind of like one I had probably when we were younger. It doesn't really happen that much anymore, but it's like, say like you're meeting up with the lads, or like you're meeting up with like one person, and like they're just constantly taking out their phone, like either to be on social media or like reply back to someone. It'd be different like if we're at meal and like you're here like, oh here, look, I've got to reply back to this, like that's fine. But it's like when people are all out in a group set, and like say there's 3 lads out or 4 lads out, and like one lad just consistently being on his phone, like on social media, like that really takes me off, because it's like I could just text you a Honda, and if you're going to be like that, you know what I mean? Like that really pisses me off. Like it doesn't really happen so much now. I would say that was more like an issue that I probably had when I was a bit younger. But I'd say like now, maybe because I'm away most of the time as well, I don't really see it as much. But I don't know if you've actually ever really affected that. Like, have you ever experienced that like recently, or is that kind of a thing for like younger age?
Thankfully, none of my friends really do that type of thing, because it's just fucking rude, and I don't I don't hang around with people who are rude. If I'm being honest with you, like it's just not. Yeah, like if you're with somebody, I think also like context on this is like really important, because like if it's somebody who you are with and you see every day, and I'll put my hands up. I obviously see Simone every day. I hang out with Simone every day because we live together. But like I'll be at home and we'll be having a conversation, and like I'll get a message from somebody, or like something will pop up. Like for example, we were sitting on the couch the other night chatting away, and I got a message from my drummer Adam, and he said, "Oh, there's this Battle of the Bands thing that's happening. Here's an application link. You have like I obviously." Like it's my band, but I have he couldn't stick our name down, because like I have the links and the emails and the press kits and all the files and all the shit that has to go into this email to fill out this thing, so like in that situation, because like I was talking to Simone about nothing, like we were just waffling, talking shite, I'll go on my phone that now I'm still listening to Simone, still talking to Simone, but I think like if you are meeting up with somebody, like let's say when we go out, like because even though we speak every week, like when we're out whether it's just me and you or whether it's me, you, Nicola and whether me, you, Nicola and Simone are out together. That's where you don't bring your phone out. Or like if I'm meeting up with a friend that I haven't seen in like a month or two, then you don't really need to bring your phone out in that type of situation.
Yeah, like it's kind of there. Like I don't mind like you pulling out your phone to answer like a call or an important message back, but I feel like it's more on like the point of like if you're like planning to meet up with someone, like and then being like currently on your phone the whole time, it's like kind of ruins the whole purpose of like meeting up in the first place because you could just contact each other over the phone at home. Do you get me?
Yeah.
But again, there's so many that I could run through here all day, but I am cautious of time, and I know we have to move on to our pop culture / current affairs.
Yeah, if I could just bring up one more thing because I think it will work nicely into this. So people who overuse kind of therapy talk in the current day, and what I mean is, look, everybody deserves to have their own boundaries, have their own respect, and have their things that they're okay with and not. But there is like a certain point where you just have to accept that, like, you're in public, you're part of the wider world, like, and you stuff like when you're on the bus and someone needs to sit down beside you. It's like, oh, I want personal space. Tough shit. You're on the bus. It's rush hour. It's packed. Someone needs to sit beside you. Or, like things like it's staying in like queues and shops, and it's something that, and the reason I want to talk about this in specifically because it's going to relate to one of the things I want to bring up for current affairs is the thing that happened with Chapel Roan and Jorginho this week. Did you see this?
Yeah, so if I'm correctly, she like denied taking a photo with a mom on her son or something like that. I seen briefly, no.
Yeah, you're not a million miles off.
Okay.
So what the full context to this is that Chapel Roan is playing a festival in Brazil, or was playing a festival in Brazil, and Jorginho, who was a footballer, who used to play for Arsenal, used to play for Chelsea as well, was staying at this hotel as well with his wife and kid. Now, Jorginho would be fairly famous in Brazil. He played for the Italian. He plays for he's
Italian, yeah.
Yeah, but he's of Brazilian origin, and he also he plays in the Brazilian league right now for Flamengo, which are one of the bigger teams. So like he's also won the Champions League. He's a bit like he's a well-known person. Like he's also somebody that people will approach in the streets to take photos with and ask for autographs and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
and apparently his daughter. They were at breakfast at the hotel. His daughter spotted Chapel Roan, and the man was like, "Oh my god, look, it's Chapel Roan." And the daughter didn't actually approach Chapel. She kind of just like walked back off her table and walked like within a couple of meters of her just to check that it was Chapel Roan. Didn't even approach her, and sat back down. And was like, "Oh my god, it's Chapel Roan!" Like Didn't bother her, didn't talk to her, didn't make eye contact with her, didn't ask her for a photo or anything like that. But then, like 2 minutes later, one of Chapel Roan's security guards came up and like belittled the mother and daughter, and like started having a go. And when the mother tried to be like, well, her father's actually a professional footballer, who this is why she didn't go up, and she knows what it's like being around like kind of high profile individuals and celebrities and that sort of stuff. And like apparently the security guard like went in on her. And like ate the head off her and like was like, "Oh, you're a terrible mother. You should know better than if you guys are like in the public eye and stuff like that." But there's just been so much kind of backlash about how Chapel has dealt with this situation. Like she's been in the news a lot with this sort of stuff over the last year, where like she's just been a bit of an asshole to her fans, and like people who just spot her in public and I don't want to say hi, take a photo or whatever. And like I get the argument of like she's not working 24/7, she deserves her own personal life and blah blah. Totally 100% agree, but also I don't think a fucking little girl waving at you or whatever is doing anybody any harm really. Like she didn't even actually engage with her at all. That's the kind of thing. I think Chapel obviously spotted her out of the corner of her eye, told the security, get the fuck over there and sort that out. Now she's denying that she's told the security guard to do anything, but it's more the fact that the security guard felt he had to do that because of past instances, and there's been loads of reports of like security being very aggressive with her fans previously as well. So yeah, it's just not a good look. I think it's just a dickhead move, really.
I think it's hard when you're in the public eye, of course. Like, depending on your popularity and like the level of superstar you are, like, you often have to deal with a lot of fans, and like you often see it with like One Direction or Justin Bieber. Like, they're two big ones from when we were growing up. But it's kind of like once you're in that limelight, you got to get used to the idea of fans coming up to you. And like, there's other situations that you've got people like even bigger than chaperone, like Ronaldo or Messi, that always make time for like their fans, even if it's just a photo. I don't think it's that much to take out your day to like take a photo with someone or like have a mini conversation with a 5-year-old child. So it's a bit disappointing from people. Like it is kind of a boo-hoo like situation. Like I understand if you're having a meal with your friends and you like you say to them like, look, not right now. I don't want to be disrupted. I know it can be a bit little, but it is kind of a thing like a boo-hoo. Like look at me, I'm having people that want to come up and take photos with me kind of situation. So there's two sides of it. Like I get it from a human side of chaperone where she's like, maybe she just wanted to enjoy her meal, didn't want to have anything like and have to deal with anything like that. But then also at the same time, it's like it's a 5-year-old child that wanted to take a photo or wave at you. It's not that big of a deal. Like.
But this is it. I think the fact I would be a little more lenient if the child like came up to her, invaded her personal space, and was like asking her lots of questions, blah blah. And like there is definitely people out there who take their fandom and experience way too far. Like like there is people out there who definitely do that. But like you said, like it's one of those things that takes. She won. Chapel didn't have to do anything. This is a big story because Chapel decided to act like a fucking asshole, like or her security went over and done this because of previous patterns of behavior, But I do think Chapel Rowan or anybody else in the public eye has an absolute right to privacy, has the right to say no to a photo. I don't think it's. I think
I don't think you're obliged.
There's a place and time for it. Like like somebody who I'm a massive fan of, both as a personality and as a footballer. I've always been a big fan of Roy Keane. Roy Keane's always been one of my favorite footballers, and he's notorious for telling people no in the right circumstances. But he'll always take photos with kids. He'll always do the little things. It's normally when he's like out and about in Cork or walking the streets of London when he's in his downtime. People will walk up to him. He'll shake their hands. He'll say thanks very much. And if people ask him for photos, he does. I've heard lots of people get rejected by him. But that's fair enough. You're on your own time. You're not working. I'm sure like it's one of those things that we can say here in small bouts of like, oh, it's no big deal. It's just one photo. But for them, it's probably like 5-10 times a day. It gets really annoying and it takes you out of like your day-to-day life and stuff. So I do get that part to some extent. You don't absolutely have to say yes to every photo, to every autograph, to every fan interaction, but there is just like a bit of human decency involved as well, which is where I feel Chapel has really found. And even her apology, like she put up a video on her story where she was like lying in her hotel room bed and she was like, obviously I don't hate my fans, obviously I love kids, it was a very like half-assed, like the label apology. Was like, you should probably say something about this because this is getting out of hand. And she was like, oh, I suppose I'm sorry. I suppose blah, blah. Like it was the attitude of her as well. Like even her body language because she was lying down and stuff as well. Like it's stuff like that just it just makes her kind of come across like a fucking douchebag.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like two sides to that, like I said before, but I kind of get what you're saying. I would say the only thing is like you kind of expect that when you're going into some kind of profession where stardom can happen. It's like. I would like prepare myself for the overload of photos. Again, I'm talking from a person who's like not in it, so it's hard for us to experience that and say anything on the topic. But like, I feel like if you're making loads of money and you get to like perform your dreams, there is bystanders that comes with the profession like stardom. So I feel like if a 5-year-old kid wants to take a photo, just take a photo of the 5-year-old kid. Yeah,
it'd actually take you more time to argue it than just to take the photo and move on with
Exactly.
Anyway. Moving on from bitching about Chaperone and fully moving out of the topic and moving into current affairs as well. And speaking of the music industry, they've announced that there's a brand new venue coming to Ireland, a new venue space more specifically, just down the road from me as well. It's a new outdoor concert space. The Palmerstown House is going to be a new concert venue in Dublin, which is only 20 minutes down the road from me. I'm delighted with that.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, it was only announced this week. MCD and Ticketmaster announced it, so it'll be under the same umbrella as like venues like Marley Park and Malahide Castle. Don't think it's going to be as big as that. I imagine, based off what I saw, it looks going to be like a kind of like 2,000 to 3,000 cap venue. Again, like I said, it's like one of those things that's going to get set up like in a park for 2 weeks for a series of concerts every year when the weather is good, like Malahide, like Marley Park, and that sort of stuff. But I think it's a really nice and cool incentive. It's outside the city centre as well. It's like, quite accessible because, like, where it is in Palmerstown is right beside the motorway as well, so it's quite easy to drive to and from as well for anybody like that is outside of Dublin and wants to come and doesn't want to go into like the city centre traffic and stuff. So yeah, it's nice to hear that the Irish music scene is expanding its venue roster.
Outdoor gigs are always a good time as well. I mean, like I don't know if I said on the podcast before. My first job was working at outdoor gigs. I worked at different bands, and I worked at a few festivals. Worked at EP, worked at Longitude and stuff. And I also have to say that the environment at outdoor gigs is a lot more positive, I would say, than kind of like the troubles that can happen from an inside gig. So that's good news. Good news for the Irish thing.
Yes, for sure. Also in Dublin news this week as well. I don't know if you probably didn't see this as well, but there was an In-N-Out burger pop up.
I did see this. Nicholas showed me on TikTok. Yeah, and I was actually really frustrated because I went to Istanbul during the week and I texted Sean that there was like a lot of American fast food places, and the one place I want to try because it's always been like talked of like by all my friends or like people that I know and what I've seen on that In-N-Out is like marked as like the best cheeseburger. So I don't know if are you going to participate in this? Are you going to?
Well, it's already been and gone. It was only from 11 a.m. to 3 o'clock on the 25th of March.
Didn't realize that. I thought it was.
I saw the post. Really, I saw it like within 20 minutes of it going up. So like it was announced on Tuesday for the next day. Like so regardless of whether it's 20 minutes after, or like 2 hours after, it doesn't matter. But I saw it go up and I was like, it's only from 11 to 3 o'clock. Do I want a heavy cheeseburger at that time? And I was also just thinking of, I'll be watching the Ireland match and watching Daredevil and Invincible and stuff. And like, I like to have a little treat with those. Like I'm a fiend for, I like a little snack while I'm watching the football or while I'm watching like my favorite shows and stuff. Like and I was like, I can't justify the calories. And also I knew they were working with a really limited menu. They were only doing like 2 burgers. They weren't even doing chips. They were doing crisps with your meal.
Okay.
And they had a couple of cool flavors and stuff, but I just didn't think it was going to be worth. If I want to try it, I want to try it like properly. In the States, in
a consistent place. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Exactly.
The environment. You want the environment experience.
Plus the queue. I saw at 10:30 there was a queue that people who were in the queue at 10:30 that were in the middle of it only got served at like 12 o'clock. So the wait time for it was well over an hour and a half, unless you were like within the first kind of couple of people to get there. And I'm not sure when the first people got there. I'd imagine probably about 9ish or so. But yeah, I just didn't think I refused to queue up for that type of food, or for I would not really queue more than 15-20 minutes for any food. Like even Wingstop up in Liffey Valley, I've not tried it yet because every time I go the queue is massive, and I just don't think a chicken tender is going to be worth queuing up half an hour for. I'd like to try it. I will try it one day, both In-N-Out and Wingstop, but I'm not queuing more than like 15-20 minutes to try it.
Nothing beats an all bar.
Yeah, that's it. All bar chicken, the goat.
I feel like that's like the one place that we need to be followed by. Like I think last year we got Crusty Corn. That was big for us. I think All Bar, because we've talked about it quite highly on the podcast.
Yeah, next time you come home, we do a podcast at home, try and rent out an All Bar chicken space and do a podcast and wonder.
I hope Sean's paying for it. Well, maybe you should have a subscription now with the amount of times you've been.
I've been over 20 times I've been to that place.
I've been like up to 10 times, I'd say. I'm a valid customer.
It's been a while, and this was the first Valentine's me and Simone didn't go to All Bar Chicken, and not because of anything got to do with All Bar. We just had an Italian restaurant that we liked, and we thought it'd be a nicer kind of more romantic setting for Valentine's Day, And we had a great time, but not against All Bar. We still love All Bar Chicken.
Delightful.
Yeah, and I kind of touched on it. The last thing I have for current affairs this week is we have got an incredible roster that kicked off last week with new TV shows that are coming out, new seasons of TV shows. So Invincible obviously started last week, and Daredevil has started this week. We've obviously got the Ireland match, which is also happening, which we're not going to talk about this week. We'll talk about it next week when we know the results of things, because it's all good, me and Imran saying, yeah, come on you boys in green, then we get fucking battered 4-0 by the Czech Republic. So we're gonna save all the Ireland talk until the football talk till next week. But yeah, it's a big week for for this type of stuff. Like, it's a big week for sitting on the couch watching television and eating snacks, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, the TV folks are gonna be eating well the next month, I
Yeah,
suppose.
I have been so excited for Daredevil. Like, I think I've come to the realization that this week, um, that Daredevil is my favorite TV show.
I think the second episode, or I thought the second or third episode we ever did, it was like we talked about Charlie Cox for like a
Mhm.
good 45 minutes. But like the best memory I have is of when we went to, I don't know if I told the story before, but I'll say it again. Is we went to see Spider-Man, and it was myself, Nicola, and Sean, and we were in the cinema, and it was in the scene where Charlie Cox like comes on the screen. At the time, he probably wasn't like, I don't know, known to be in the movie. It was more of a
Nah, it
cameo
was
kind of
yeah,
setting. Yeah, it was more of a
it was
cameo
hidden.
kind of setting. It was kind of hidden. And Nicola was like in the middle of me and Sean. And like, obviously, Sean says before he's a huge fan of Daredevil, as I am myself. He like leaped up and was like, like trying to smack me, but obviously was just so excited. I was like smacking Nicola in the shoulder. Like, like Charlie Cox is on the screen. This is a really fun memory I have of Charlie Cox and Nicola.
Yeah. I do you know what it was, right? Because I've been so involved in like watching the promo and the interviews and stuff, and I was kind of just like, I don't think I've ever done this as in depthly. Like, I watch, like, whenever a new season of a show comes out, like, I'll stick on the press junket interviews in the background while I'm cooking and blah blah blah. But like, I've been like so ingrained in the process of like it being filmed and the drama and the politics of what's been going on behind the scenes. For anybody who doesn't know, there's basically two Daredevil shows that both star Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, and I'll run through this really quickly and then we can move on. But there's a lot of politics behind. So basically, Marvel made a Daredevil show with Netflix in the 2010s. It's incredible. It's 3 seasons of brilliant television, and it's a show I recommend. It's my favorite show of all time. That those specific 3 seasons. They made those 3 seasons brilliant, and then when Disney Plus was announced, Marvel then took those rights away from Netflix, so the show got cancelled, even though it was doing really, really well. It was one of the most successful shows on Netflix, other than like Stranger Things, Breaking Bad, like those big kind of huge franchises. Then they announced that Daredevil was coming back on Disney Plus, but they were going to reboot it and just bring back the actor for Daredevil and the actor for Wilson Fisk Kingpin. They were going to have it be a totally disconnected story, and they were killing off or not mentioning characters from the original Netflix show. They filmed 6 episodes. Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio said, "We're not doing this because it's shit. It's not working." So the first season of Daredevil Born Again is like a Frankenstein mess of what they had already shot, and then stuff that they had to then rework and redo to make it canon to the old show. So there's two shows that are both kind of one show. It's a little bit confusing, but season one we knew from the get go it was going to be a mess. It was okay. I rewatched it recently, and season two is now we're back. It's basically season 4/season 5 of the Netflix show. If that was confusing, I apologize. It's the best way I can describe it in a short amount of time or in a concise bubble.
I think what Sean's trying to get at is excited
Yeah,
for the new
absolutely.
season.
I'm fucking
Yeah,
buzzing.
but I think it's as well as like it's always so nice as like a comfort thing when like you're really into a show and like you're waiting and you're excited for the new season to drop. And, like it's the same with movies, but with series, I feel like you find a comfort because like you fall into that pattern of rewatching series and picking things up that you missed off on. And like that's like one of my favorite things to do is like rewatch comfort shows. Like I've watched, I'm for me, I love rewatching shows like sitcoms because they're like really like a big comfort for me, or like while I'm eating or something on the background and then you pick stuff up and jokes and stuff that you missed. But I'm the same as you. I think it's really good to be excited about a new show coming out.
I think it's because like unlike as much as we both love movies and film and stuff, like because you get to
Yeah.
spend so much time with characters in
Yeah,
TV,
yeah, and
you can
developing
like
on arcs and storylines and things like that.
we're like obviously like there's great films that are 2-3 hours long or you've got your trilogies and stuff, but the fact that you can spend like 60 hours with a set of characters and like you feel like you grow with them and stuff, that's what I love about it. But anyway, we just we probably need to move on because or else this episode is going to be in 2 hours long. We'll move on to our Distance dilemmas. That's what it is, yeah. Guys, this is the section of the show where you guys send in your dilemmas to us and we read them out. This is all done totally anonymously. You can go to the link in our Instagram bio. You can fill out the form that's in there. Like I said, it's totally anonymous. So if you want to bitch about us, if you want to say the podcast is shy and you want to, redo all this, grand, no problem. If you want to bitch about your boyfriend, if you want to talk about your boss, if you've got an issue in life that's bothering you, please, pop it into the form and we will read them out on the podcast. And like I said, it's all done anonymously as well. Or if there's anything in particular you wanted to talk about as a topic or not specifically a dilemma, you can also DM us on Instagram. Anyway, that's enough of me waffling and faffing. I explained that one very badly. But anyway, we've got our dilemma for this week. And the dilemma is, this listener has said, my family expects me to follow a certain path, but I want something completely different.
There was no question posed.
There was no question posed with that one. But
maybe he was just trying to
looking for advice, I would say.
Yeah. It depends for me in this situation. It's like, what age are they at? I know, like, if we always try to read through the lines, like, am I looking from like a school perspective? Am I looking for like, it's in their later lives? Are they in like their early 20s? Are they older? So I'm going to presume that they're like still in like the school, college era. Okay, I'll go from there. And like, this is a common thing that I think happens a lot with families. Maybe with families that maybe are from like a previous background. Like, say like your mother or your godmother were all midwives, and it's kind of like this expectation that you would follow the same route. And I think it's like, if you do follow that path, which a lot of people do, like pressurized by their parents, or like they expect a certain thing. I think in the long run, you're gonna have like a lot of problems within yourself being like, I'm in the wrong path. And like, for example, like I particularly, like my mom's from a social care background. She worked in the industry for about 40 to 50 years. And like, I seen the effect and the toll like that had on her and like her workload and stuff like that. Now, she was very good in the area, I have to say, like implemented very well, suited her personality type and everything. And she advised me not to go down that route, even though I went to college and I did, 5.5 years altogether. But like I said before, like I don't necessarily have a passion for social care. I'm glad I did the course and I'm glad I have a degree in it. It is a thing that maybe I'll look back in a couple of years that I didn't implement it too much into my life. Maybe it is something that I will go into down the line. But my mom was never a person like to say like, you need to go down this route, you need to go down. So I can't really like have much of an instance to say like I've experienced it. But I think one thing I get out of the grasp of this like whole context is like, down the line, I think that's where the issues will arise, because you'll realize after a certain period of time, it's like, this isn't like what I want to do. Or even before that, and like, let's say you're in the early college days, or like you're coming up to the leaving cert and you're trying to figure out what to do. I think if you like join something early on, you'll be able to tell if it's for you or not. That's why like a lot of people drop out in like the first couple of months of college. I'm not even going to say the first year, because a lot of people don't even make it to the second half, because they don't realize when they're there and when they're in the environment, like, this is not for me. Like, I'm getting no benefit of it. Why am I wasting my time being here? Whereas like, although like didn't necessarily go into the social care route yet, or if we don't know if I will or not in the future, I still had an inkling like, okay, I like to help people. I like to be involved with people. I'm gaining some kind of knowledge or something in like that I can implement into a different workplace or something while I was there. That's why I stayed in the social care route, because I'd already done the years early on. That I could have dropped out if I wanted to, but I enjoyed the course. I enjoyed what I was learning. I enjoyed what I do. So like, I don't feel like necessarily it was a waste for me, because I can implement it elsewhere. But I feel like I don't want to keep relating on my point, but I feel like if you go into it and like later down the line, you'll realize that it's not for you, and that's where the troubles would arise. But I think, again, the one thing to tackle this is maybe just have a conversation with your parents and, make them try realize like, this is not where you want to go down.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I wholeheartedly agree that like, you need to do what's right for you and not for other people. Like, I was getting a very similar vibe to Imran. Like, I kind of feel like it's your family expects you to go down a certain path, like whether it's as a lawyer or as a doctor, or working in a family business of some sorts. But you really need to do what's right by you, because you have to take those selfish leaps, and something we've kind of talked about before. So I don't want to go on too much about it, because I don't want to repeat myself. But it's something that if you don't do like what's right by yourself, I feel you'll pay in the long term with your own mental health, or you'll be asking yourself those what if questions, like what if I had done this, what if I had done that. So yeah, like I said, I totally agree with Imran as well. Something that kind of caught my eye. Like I agree, this seems to be a bit more of an employment or career path type of question, but something about to follow a certain path in that is kind of also make me think this could be a religious thing as well. Like and like I know, just from first hand experience, like there's people who are like technically me and you are both Catholics. Now I'm an atheist, like I don't believe in God, whatever. But like there's people who are like technically of a certain
within our
faith.
family. Yeah.
Yeah,
Within our family, like involved or that kind of area.
yeah, like and like I know people who like are technically of a certain faith and they do and don't follow some parts of it. Like now, I'm sure we both know people who are Islamic, but they don't do Ramadan, or they do and don't take part in certain aspects of their religion. Like and like you could argue that like that with Christmas for us, like like we're like I don't myself, but like there's lots of people who wouldn't consider themselves religious at all, but they celebrate Christmas time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it could also be a thing of like they want them to be more involved in the religious side of things, and go down that path. That's kind of just something that popped into my head as well. But again, I think you need to do what's right for you and yourself. Just because it was right for your family or for your parents or for that generation or for somebody else does not mean it's going to be right for you. So yeah, I think follow your gut and do what's right by you. And if they don't understand that, that's kind of their problem. I know that sounds quite harsh, but it is true. You need to do what's best for yourself.
I think the religious aspect is something that like a lot of people maybe, or even like if you look at it on the other side and you just look at the spiritual aspect, a lot of people maybe haven't found that yet. And I feel like one early days, if you're being pushed into a religion or a certain setting, you haven't actually found your way within the religion or the spiritual side of it. And like I said before, I'm an agnostic atheist. I don't necessarily fully don't believe, but I just haven't found my way yet or figured something out that I've had a connection with. But I'm trying to say, like, if you're in a situation where like your family, like Sean was saying, is pushing you towards something and you haven't had a connection or haven't felt anything, I don't think you should be obliged to be, having to deal with all the pressures that come with, like, for Catholicism, like Christmas or Easter and all these things that are recommended for you to go down the path towards the religious setting. So yeah, I think do whatever makes you feel happy, and try communicate with your parents, and that would probably be the best way to go about it.
Yeah, perfect. Right, well, this is probably the best place to wrap up this episode. So guys, thank you very much for listening to this episode of The Distance Limit. This has been episode number 58. My name is Sean and I'm in Dublin, Ireland. This has been Imran, he is in Thun, Switzerland, and this is our long distance friendship podcast. We will be back again next week. We have new episodes every Monday, 6 a.m. Irish time, 7 a.m. Central European time. Until then guys, thank you very much for listening, and we'll chat to you again next week. Come on you boys in green!
Come on!